So sample problem number 1. The position of a car was observed at various times. The results are summarized in the following table below. So we have here, find the average velocity of the car for the first second and the last 3 seconds and the entire period of observation. So first, dun muna tayo sa the first second. So the first second means na yung period of observation natin is ito. So ito yung final position natin, final time, at saka ito yung initial position at saka initial time. So just using the formula we had, so the average velocity is equal to the change of your position divided by the change of your time. So we have here the final position minus the initial position divided by the final time minus the initial time. So ano yung final position mo for the first second? So final position is 2.3 meters. Tapos yung initial time mo is the initial position mo is 0 meters. So ito yung origin natin. Then the final time with the position of 2.3 meters is 1.0 seconds. Tapos at x is equal to 0, your time is 0 seconds. So therefore, the average velocity for the first second is 2.3 meter per second. Okay? So how about for the last 3 seconds? So letter B, the last 3 seconds. So the last 3 seconds is starting from 5 seconds and ending with 2 seconds. So ito yung the last 3 seconds natin. Okay? So the average velocity is given by, again, the displacement, okay, the change of your position divided by the change of your time, delta t. So ano yung final position mo? So that is 57.5 meter minus the initial time for the last 3 seconds, and the initial position for the last 3 seconds is 9.2 meters, and then the final time is 5 seconds. So as you can see here, and then the initial time is 2 seconds. So that is how much? So that is equal to, so you can try with your calculator if you have one in your side. Okay, so divided by 3, so that is equivalent to 16.1 meters per second. So ito yung average velocity for the last 3 seconds. But how about for the entire period of observation? So for the entire period, meaning that is from 0 to 5 seconds. So ito yung entire period natin. So for the entire period, we will let our final position to be the 57.5 and the initial position to be our origin. So that is t. So we have here 57.5 meter minus 0 meter divided by the final time, 5 seconds minus the initial time, which is 0. So that is equal to 11.5. So we have 11.5 meter per second. So that is number 2. And that is number 1. So that is A, B, and C. So using the table sa gihatag here below. So number 2. A person walks first at a constant speed of 5 meters per second along a straight line. So this is a line from point A, so point A to point B. So yung initial point mo is si point A, tapos si final point mo is si point B. And then back along the line from B to A. So balik siya from B to A at a constant speed na of 3 meters per second. Okay? We have to find the average speed and the average velocity for the entire trip. Okay, so we don't have a distance here, so we can let the distance between A to B as D. Okay? Kasi hindi siya given sa problem. So, for the from A to B, yung speed mo, so I will just denoted it by letter S. So, speed is actually 5 meters per second. So, ito yung from A to B. Now, from B to A, so pabalik na siya sa starting point niya, that is 3 meter per second. So, how to find the average speed? So, the average speed lang, so I will put it above para average speed siya. So, is equal to the total distance divided by the total time. Okay? So, the total distance kasi is D, tapos balik na po siya, is D again. So, that is D plus D. Okay? Kasi babalik siya sa starting point niya, that is the total distance. How about yung total time niya? So using this known na value, so using that one, so we remember that S is equal to D over T, di ba? So the S from A to B, so this is from A to B, is actually equal to, so we have here 5 meters per second D over T. So yung time niya na may speed na 5 meters per second is D over 5. Okay? So how about from B to A? So ano yung time niya? So using again this process, you will find that the T from B to A is D over 3. So we can put the total time here as D over 5 plus D over 3. So we have here D plus D is 2D. Then we have here 8D over 15. Okay, so ako na siyang ditso. So I combine D over 5 plus D over 3. Then cancel D. So what's left is 30 over 8. So ang 15 reciprocal, then proceed to multiplication. How much is the speed? So the average speed is actually equal to 3.75 meter per second. So ito yung average speed natin. Now how about for the entire trip ng velocity mo, average velocity? So the average velocity is of course 0. Kasi yung displacement mo is actually equal to 0. So there's for the entire trip, yung average velocity mo is 0. Okay? So that is actually the difference between average speed and average velocity. Now let's move on to sample problem number 3. So the position versus time, so meron tayong graphical here for a certain particle moving along the x-axis is shown in the figure. Find the average velocity in the time intervals. So we have here from 0 to 2 seconds. So first we have to find the average velocity. So from 0 to 2 seconds, so ano yung ano niya? So you have to take note kung ano yung position niya at that times at kung ano yung ano yung position niya at that time. So we have here the average velocity for A. So we have here the final velocity minus the final position minus the initial position divided by the final time minus the initial time. So ano yung final position niya? So final position niya is actually 2 meters. So 2 meters. Then yung initial time niya from 0 to 2 seconds. So 0 to 2 seconds. So 0 yung initial position niya. Then the final time is 2 seconds. And then the initial time is again 0 second. So this is equal to 1 meter per second. So ito yung average velocity from 0 to 2 seconds. How about from 0 to 4 seconds? So how can we do this one? So just like what we did here, so we have to take note kung ano yung position for that time. So sa 0, yung position niya is 0 meter. And sa 4 second, yung position niya is approximately 5. Okay, so 5 yung position niya. So here, at 4 seconds. So using this formula here, so we have the final position. Ano yung final position niya? That is 5 meters. Ano yung initial position? 0 meters again. Then ano yung final time? 4 second. Initial time 0 seconds. So that is 5 divided by 4. That is 1.25. So 1.25 meter per second. So that is for letter B. So sayon na ni siya. So tanawon lang gyud niyo on how to get the values using the graph. So about letter C, that is 2 seconds to 4 seconds. So how to find this one? So using again this equation, so you have to find the average velocity. So you have to take note the position for 2 seconds. So ito yung initial time natin at ito yung final time, by the way. So sa initial time, 2 seconds, yung position niya is 10 meter. So you can see here 10 meters. So 10 meters minus, how about yung hindi, no. This is not the initial time, initial position. Kasi ito yung XF minus XI divided by TF minus TI. Okay? So the final position niya sa 4 seconds is 5 meters. So 5 meter yung final position. Yung initial position is 10 meters. So based sa graph na gihatag nimo. So we have XF 5 meters minus 10 meters divided by TF is 4 seconds minus 2 seconds. So what's left is the average velocity is equal to negative 2.5 meter per second. So meaning that kung negative ang imong value, meaning that your particle is moving in towards the negative x direction. Okay, so as you can see here, the next for 4 seconds to 7 seconds, so here 4 seconds to 7 seconds, so from D 4 seconds to 7 seconds, again you have to take note for the positions for that times. For 4 seconds, yung position niya is 5 meter, again 5 meters. And then for TF, yung final time, yung position niya sa 7 second is approximately negative 5 ito. Okay, so negative 5 meters. So ano yung average velocity? So we have here the final position, negative 5 meters, minus the initial position, 5 meter, divided by the final time, 7 seconds, minus the initial time as 4 seconds. So negative 5 minus 5 is actually negative 10 meters divided by 7 minus 4, 3 seconds. So the average velocity for the time interval is actually equal to negative 3.33 meter per second. So meaning the average is moving again to in the negative x direction. Okay? So how about for 0 to 8 seconds, so meaning for the entire trip of the object, so 0 to 8 seconds. So for E, 0 to 8 seconds, so entire trip ng object mo. So this is your initial time, this is your final time. So ano yung distance ng 8 seconds mo? So ano yung position niya? So that is position 0. So balik siya sa origin niya. So TI, at TI is equal to 0, yung initial position niya is again 0. So therefore, if 0 yung displacement niya, then therefore the average velocity for the entire trip is 0 kasi bumalik siya sa origin niya. So you can see, balik siya sa starting point niya. Okay? At 8 seconds. So yun lang. So sample problem number 4. So we have to find the instantaneous velocity at the following times. So instantaneous So at the following time. So now, if we're going to find, for example, 1 second, that is here, 1 second, so we have to find the instantaneous. Now take note that the object that is moving from 0 to 2 seconds is moving at constant velocity. Okay? As you can see here, constant ito kasi yung slope natin is constant anywhere here. So, constant yung velocity na straight line yung ano niya. So, therefore, for 1 second lang, we can actually get the velocity for 1 second dito anywhere. Okay? So, from 0 to 2, meaning that yung velocity niya is again equal to, how can we do this one? So, suppose dito tayo sa, kasi yung 1 second is between 0 to 2 seconds, diba? Then I said that this straight line represents a constant velocity. So, any velocity here, so any makukuha mo na velocity here are all constant. So, meaning that from i-average na mo from 0 to 2, you still can get equal to 1 meters per second. Okay, so therefore, yung instantaneous velocity mo at 1 second is again still equal to 1 meter per second. So, same nito. Okay, yung first natin na ano, yung first natin, so letter A sa 0 to 2 seconds. Kasi between siya sa 0 and 2 seconds. Now, how about for 3 seconds? So, 3 seconds is between 2 to 4. So, 2 to 4, as in between siya sa 2 to 4. Now, here, from 2 seconds to 4 seconds, your velocity is constant, pero yung object mo is moving towards the negative x direction. So, meaning, anywhere here, you can get a velocity equal to the interval from 2 to 4 seconds. So, meron ba tayong 2 to 4 seconds? So, ito, meron. So, from 2 to 4 seconds, the velocity is negative 2.5. So, the instantaneous velocity at t is equal to 3 seconds kasi between si 3 ni 2 at saka ni 4, tapos from 2 to 4, constant yung speed niya or yung velocity niya. So, therefore, ang makukuha mo each time at that instant or at that particular time is the same as if we get the average from 2 seconds to 4 seconds. Diba? So, meaning, negative 2.5 din yung makukuha niya. Okay? For 3 seconds. How about for 4.5 seconds? So, 4.5 seconds is here. So, if we interpret this one, meaning na yung object mo is actually moving, is actually at rest. Meaning a straight line, meaning at rest siya. Okay? So, therefore, wala siyang velocity at 4.5 seconds. So, V is 0 at that instant. How about for 7.5? So, 7.5 is here, approximately, dito siya, from 7 to 8. So, how can we do this one? So, from here, from 7 to 8, as you can see, constant yung velocity niya. Okay? So, constant moving towards the starting point. Ito yung straight line. So, remember ha, you can actually get the interval lang from a constant. So, for example, dito at saka dito lang yung dapat kukuhanin mo for instantaneous velocity kasi constant ito. Dito at saka dito lang kasi constant ito. Dito at saka dito lang kasi constant ito. Same lang yapon sa 7 to 8. I use 7 to 8 kasi constant ito. At saka yung 7.5 is between 7 and 8. Okay? So, how to do that one? So, your instantaneous velocity is just equal to the average velocity between 8 and 7. Okay? So, we have here 8. So, ano yung position ng 8 seconds? 0 meter. Ano yung position ng 7 second? That is negative 5 meter. So, we have here 0 meter minus negative 5 meters divided by 8 minus 7. So, we have here 5 meter per second. So, ang makukuha na velocity, instantaneous velocity at this point is 5 meters per second. So, as you can see, positive siya because it is moving towards the positive x direction. Tapos, nag-stop lang siya at the origin. Kasi kung pwede pa siya ma-increase doon, meaning na nakapunta na siya after ng origin. Okay, so padulong na siya sa positive x nga direction. Okay, so yun lang.